How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another live stream repair. Let's see, we'we've got 4 in today, and we're going to start off with Harold's. I don't know what's wrong with Harold's HomePod because I can't find their email for whatever reason. But curiosity's got the best of me, so we're going to find out. Here we have it. Who wants to take a guess what's wrong with it? I'm gonna bet no power. Oh, no, we've got power.
Trouble connecting to the internet. For more info.
Alright, so no base.
I'm having trouble.
Let's take that apart and find out what's going on inside. No issues with our bass speaker. So that must mean our issue is solely in the amplifier. Let's see if we've got our base back. Most certainly. Beautiful. Hello, welcome back. Not a half bad Friday Eve. We solved well, we didn't solve another no base issue, but we got lucky on this one. Ooh. if you're curious what that sound is, that's the Blue Angels doing their thing. Hope it doesn't wake the baby. I saw them flying around on my way back from UPS. Alright. We get this top on and we'll see if we know what we're doing here.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. I'm having trouble connecting.
That's got bass. So that's got Harold fixed up. Let's move on to Lewis, who also has no bass. Alright, yeah, that definitely has no bass. So let's crack this open and see if we can get just as lucky. Is our lucky cap shorted again here? No. Wow, I think we got lucky yet again though. This cap this time is the one that's shorted. Yeah. Let's go ahead and take measurements because this isn't the first, second, or third time I've replaced this cap, so I'm considering it a common enough issue to throw up on the website. We've got about 3.3 millimeters by about 1.6 millimeters. We'll look up what case code that is later. slowly figure them all out, boys. This one's got no base. I don't think we're going to be able to figure this one out. Okay, well, add that to the pile of ones we can't figure out quite yet. Got another amplifier here that we can use though. It just needs a new Schottky diode, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Now, unfortunately, we don't have time to dig into that one. We'll have to revisit that on another stream. It's got, it's pulling power. We found a shorted cap, but once we replaced it, the problem still didn't go away. And the short was on the cap. We pulled the cap off, the cap was shorted, we replaced it, there's no more short. But you've got the right idea thinking that we should start doing comparisons. Yeah, I've got a thermal camera. but we've got a few of these boards that have been the same case where it's that cap that's shorted, we replace it, the short goes away, but there's still no base. I'm guessing probably the short killed an IC or something. We just gotta find where it's at. But we could easily spend another hour looking at that board, and unfortunately we just do not have the time for that right now. Yep, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I think the shorted cap killed something else, but... when we've got the time, I want to have a stream of just nothing but all of these spare amps that I have sitting around with no bass issues that we haven't figured out yet. But this board is ready for us to just pop in and go, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, it'll be a fun stream. More just exploratory and trying to solve problems that we've been putting off. Maybe we'll try a few things with a few blinking volume buttons boards too. Yeah. That's how it started out with the HomePods, except way more issues that weren't solved. Proud to say we figured out most of them, and we've gotten some help along the way on the others. Complete stroke of luck how we figured out most of them, to be honest. At least that's how it feels sometimes. But that's exactly what it was like with these HomePods before we started this. Was there a whole bunch of broken ones on eBay with the same problems. Nobody knew how to fix them. Yeah, you'll figure it out or you'll die trying. Even if these, even if people stop sending these in to us for repair, I'll still plug away at it and try to figure out what the heck's going on. Because if anything, it would just satisfy my curiosity. Yep, exactly. I was just about to say going to bed at night thinking about it. I mean, that's how I solved death farts. I slept on it. Because I was running out of ideas and things to try. And as I was falling asleep, I came to the idea of, poking the board with heat until we found which area of the board became most reactive. And that was something that we thought of after we came across the blog post that talked about DC offset getting worse with heat. So we were like, okay, if the death farts are caused by DC offset, which we do know, then we should be able to find at least where on the board this offset's coming from by applying more heat and hooking up a meter to the woofer. Lo and behold, that's how we found those filters. Some people get up in the middle of the night to check out the fridge, and other people will get up in the middle of the night to go fix something. Because they just figured out how to fix it. I personally like to hit the fridge before going to fix the stuff at 3 in the morning. Oh, it's addictive. It's so addictive. Oh, you know what? They have Siri turned off, so we'll have Siri complain about factory resetting to test the base here.
Your HomePod is about to reset. Keep pressing until you hear 3 beeps.
That's got bass. So we'll test this a little more just to make sure it's good to go. But we couldn't get their original amplifier figured out, so we put in another amplifier, and we got their bass back. We've got a fat stack of those amps with issues that we haven't figured out yet. Like I was saying to Reese here in the chat, we will do a stream someday soon where we just blast through them and try to figure out these other issues. But we've got Lewis up and going again in the meantime, so let's take a look at Mark with some death farts and more technically known as DC offset. The DC offset is what causes those death farts, and bad filters are what allow that DC offset to go bad. So, take a quick 30-second break. We will be right back. Grab a drink, grab a bathroom, do your thing. Told you it'd be quick. Cheers. Okay, let's check out our symptoms. So with bad filters, they'll allow too much DC voltage or DC offset through the amp into the subwoofer speaker, which will result in a louder than usual popping sound as they power on and or go into standby mode. Yeah, over time, this can grow to a point where it will death fart on you, as most people would call the problem. So if you heard that pop, pop, That was me waking it up, and then when I unplugged it from power, it was powering down again. Just a quick way to test how bad of a pop it's got. And usually a decent way of figuring out how good or bad those filters are. In this case, that was a louder than I would like to have pop, so I am expecting this to have a fairly nasty DC offset. And so we'll take this apart, we'll get our test woofer connected, and we'll look at the number on the meter and see if we've got more than 50 millivolts. Did I do it again? Close. Very close. Oh, so close. I gotta be careful. Bad ESR or off tolerance capacitance. Alright, I'm gonna have to ask you to help a noob out here. I don't know what either of those, I don't think I know what either of those mean. I'm gonna take a guess that ESR is electrostatic resistance. Tolerance capacitance, I believe I know what you're talking about. They've got to be either 5 or 10%. I believe that's what you're talking about. But I feel like they could have designed the filters, like the circuit for the filters, a little better, such that if one of them goes bad, which MLCC ceramic capacitors, they're gonna go bad. You'd think they would add some sort of redundancy in there and not design it such in a way that if one of the 4 go bad, the whole thing takes a shit. Capacitors can fail in 3 ways. They can allow DC to pass through them, they can carry incapacitance, and they can have a high ESR, which is electrical series resistance. Okay. Interesting. So I will say when these fail, they seem to be failing in that first way where they allowed DC to pass through them. But I don't know if you know that in this case at least, it doesn't seem to have an effect on their capacitance, at least at room temperature. I don't know if that changes when they go up to operating temp. Which is basically the resistance of the cap allowing AC through as low an ECR as possible. Oh. Yeah. Like it seems like, oh man. I don't know, I need to go to college because I would love to know more about this. Goodness. That is still very helpful though. Thank you for elaborating on that. Gives me some homework to do. Yeah, that makes sense. Because I mean, when you're using a cap in a circuit, the idea is to like, I mean, inherently the cap's going to filter the DC voltage and let the AC voltage through. Testing it for send a high frequency alternating current through it and check that it's going through with low resistance. Yeah, that makes sense. Caps only allow AC to pass through them because there has to be a change in polarity or a pulse, or nothing happens between the layers of foil inside the cap. Oh. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I'm getting educated today. It's so cool that capacitors have such a very specific behavior, and yet they have such a wide variety of use cases. And then, like, based on the use case, you might prefer the ceramic one or the electrolytic one. That's just too cool. Well, I skipped past diagnosing this, but we'll go ahead and demonstrate for you with my spare parts. Let's get some power and logic into this amplifier and check out how bad its DC offset really is right now. So, logic board cable, and then our power cable. Let's connect the subwoofer. Let's connect a logic board, and then power it up, and we'll see how bad this offset's right now. Some caps are used to pass AC through them like in audio stuff. I think they're called coupling. Okay, so that's our current offset. That is quite a far ways away from zero. About 500 millivolts or half a volt DC, which we don't want to see any more than 50 millivolts on Class D amps like this. So the amp chip on the board that Apple used in particular happens to be rated for up to 18 millivolts at the input, which we would see at the output at around 180, 200 millivolts. So we tended to shoot for a much more aggressive 50 millivolt target, so that way we can catch failing filters as early on as possible. Also, out of curiosity, okay, so the diode has a date code of 1736K, so we don't need to worry about replacing that and dealing with any no power issues for the rest of this HomePod's life. Which means the only thing we need to really worry about here are the filters. So we're going to get all 4 of those replaced. And we'll see if we can't get that offset under 50. What reading do you actually get in ohm mode over the bad filters compared to good ones? We'll go ahead and check here in a minute. Because I'm not sure if I can check that with these off the board. Alright, there's our bad ones. We'll go ahead and continue working on this board while we let these cool down, and then we'll take some measurements on them. Alright, you little joker. Freaking herder, blob it up, bro. Quit bridging. There we go. Okay. There's our bad ones. Here's our good ones. Our good ones read at about, well, I can't seem to get a reading. See, I wonder if there are probes designed to test ceramic capacitors more easily than this, because they love to fly around. Yeah, the good ones read nothing. so far. 2 of the 4 bad ones read nothing. Three out of 4 bad ones. So yeah, they all read nothing. Good and bad. I know, right? there just does not seem to be any good way to test these damn things aside from just replacing it and seeing if your offset gets better. And I mean, if you have too much DC offset, that's the only place it could really be coming from our experience here working on these at least. I'm sure there's other ways, but... nothing that we've caught yet. I am on 3 of 4. Halfway done with 3 of 4. And since that baby's awake, we can actually talk with a real voice now. That bottom one's just a little too crooked for my comfort. Hold on. There we go. I'm not a perfectionist, but I want it to be kind of nice, at least. If they're allowing DC to pass through to the speaker, you'd think they would let the DC of the meter through. Yeah, that's a good point. Unfortunately, I am starting to run out of time, so we're going to have to try to make these last 2 repairs as quick as possible. But I would very much want you to... very much want to have you included in our in that live stream that we're talking about, because you sound like you know your shit. And as somebody who barely knows their shit, I would very much like to become more familiar with the shit. Ciao. Turn on the lights.
Uh-oh.
I can see!
Oh, is it bright, baby?
I can fight!
Is it bright? Do you want to go sit on the couch and wake up? Whoa. Look at her. She's like...
Did you have a good nap?
Yes, I slept for a couple hours.
Yeah, you got at least like an hour and a half in.
Yeah. Oh, sweet girl.
Yeah,
You're excused. That baby makes some pretty big belches for such a small kid, man. Like, I do not understand how they do that. There she goes again. Burping up a storm. No manners, no nothing. Alright, let's see if we know what we're doing here. Power this puppy up. And we've still got power, so that's always a good sign. We get people emailing us all the time, despite the numerous warnings and cautions we give people. They still go into these things like a complete doofus, and it's like they've got freaking Hulk hands in the process. And I understand, big hands, whatever. But, you got to be careful. There's lots of tiny little things in here that you probably can't even see with your naked eye that you can easily break if you're not taking it slow. And having done at least 1,000 of these here live, and then however many more off camera, we make it look a lot quicker and easier than it really is, especially if you haven't done as many of these. Our first time ever taking apart a HomePod, it took us about an hour and a half ish just to get this plastic top piece off. And even then, I ended up with this thing scratched and cracked to shit in the process. Don't get me started on the rest of the thing the first time, but take your time, go slow and easy. And, we've talked our heads off enough here to check out this offset and see if it's holding steady, and indeed it is. We've got about 14.5 millivolts, which is a significant improvement from the 500 millivolts that we had before. Along with that, our severe popping as we power it up and off is also gone. So with all that, I can sleep easy at night knowing that we've got their death farts fixed up here. Oh yeah, wondering why we were being so quiet. Yep, now that she's awake, we'll talk our heads off. Where's that shell?
There's the child. Right there.
Oh, hold on. Chell, you ready to go on camera? Come here, child. There you go. Say hi.
Baby. Her little potatoey legs just hanging there in the bed. Yeah. Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
What's that baby doing? Is she hungry? She doesn't look too hungry. She looks like she's just happy and alive.
Yeah, she's just hanging out. She was giggling and smiling when I laid her on the couch for a second.
She's just taking it all in.
Rubbing your little feet.
You were grumpy. She said, I want food.
How those little legs look? They look fine.
Yeah.
No spots. Check the other one.
No, I think,
Oh, there's one. Nope, that's a scab.
yeah, it's a scab. She got some scabs. She scratched the shit out of her nose.
I saw that. It happened while we were at Michael's.
Oh, I thought that happened when she got home because I didn't notice it when you got home.
No, it happened while we were at Michael's. She straight up went slice with her little tiny fingers.
She freaked out about it?
No.
She didn't care?
No, we didn't give a shit.
Yeah.
No, she had a great time while we were out. She even ate while we were out. Stared at everyone she could see. They have that giant military recruiting center at the mall now, and she was staring hardcore at the like clump of people dressed in their battle uniforms.
Yeah.
It's a collection of them. The Navy was there, the Air Force, Baby Chow. There's a Marine there.
Yeah, you gonna help me fix HomePod's, Joe?
Yeah, better than join the military. But you can if you want. It's all might be the right choice. You can fly cool planes.
Yeah, you can go fly the friggin' Blue Jays. Or
Blue Jet.
the Blue Jays?
No, the Blue Angels.
The Blue Angels. Oh no, the blue guys in the sky.
They're so loud. I'm surprised that didn't wake her up.
Yeah. But at the same time, I've also been conditioning her since she got home from the hospital pretty much with very loud music while she's sleeping. And pretty much nothing wakes her up except the sound of Mom's voice.
Op-ed. It's time for Seattle to cancel the Blue Angel.
Okay, no, okay. Seriously, 1 or 2 runs, totally cool. Awesome. What has it been? 15, 20 fucking runs today?
You have to practice.
I don't care.
It's
traumatizing. It's quite honestly, it's freaking me the fuck out because it keeps thundering everything around, and I even though I'm aware what it is, even though I have no legit PTSD or anything about that, it's very unnerving, to say the least. It freaks me out.
Every 3 years, a pilot dies in a crash.
It very much freaks me out. And if they need to practice, cool. Do 1 or 2 practice runs. They're the Blue Angels. They're the Blue Angels. You're telling me they got to practice 10 times in a row?
Every year, multiple airshow accidents occur.
Ah, man. I'm conflicted because...
Fortunately, many of these accidents are minor and do not involve loss of blood.
Because it's really cool. And they earn it. But at the same time... I can't help that, feeling I get in my gut when, the jets are flying around, you know? And, shit's about to go down. I hate it.
Yeah, they almost crashed last year here in Seattle again.
Really?
Yeah, and
they didn't.
But they didn't! And the last crash before that was in 2016. So
yeah. I'm not...
I remember that.
That my concern isn't obviously I'm concerned about crashes, but it hasn't personally impacted me, so that's not really on my mind, you know. What's on my mind is what personally impacts me, and it's God, I feel like a
weenie hood.
I feel like a weenie yeah, exactly. I feel like a freaking weenie, but I also never thought it would ever bother me. And as a kid, I always thought it was so cool, but I also feel like as a kid, they weren't flying over downtown Seattle 15, 20 times over the course of an hour, multiple times in a single day.
I got my feel of airplanes from my grandpa. And him taking us to the Air Force Base. If I want to see airplanes, I'll go to the museum of flight.
Maybe I should just
you can sit in a fighter jet.
I bet it's not good for people's pets. That's part of the problem is I'm watching my cats freak the hell out every time they fly over.
Yeah, no, they are cuddled up together. And
luckily Chell doesn't care and she sleeps through it, but if it woke her up every single time, I'd be way more pissed. I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed.
What do you want to look at? The corner? What's in the corner? The bread bag. Oogie boogie. You want to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, Baby Joe? Look at all these Legos we have to put together.
Oh, I'm saving those for YouTube streams.
Oh, never mind.
But we can do them together.
We'll get your own Legos, baby.
We can absolutely do them together on stream. I just have to, you know I have to capitalize on it.
Hi, you comfy?
I mean, it doesn't really matter. There's already been so many people putting those sets on together on YouTube, but there's still something about watching somebody do the same thing again for the 1000th time. It's kind of like what we're doing here. Weird.
What were you looking? What do you see? You look like you're looking for something. What are you looking for? I don't know if it's gonna be on the ceiling.
It might be.
There's not a lot up there. What?
There's a lot up there. I mean, take the string lights back to the cavemen, and they'll freak the fuck out. There's not a lot up there. Everything's a matter of perspective.
She'd be looking at nothing sometimes.
Nothing.
Scares me.
Is she looking at nothing? Like I said, everything is a matter of perspective. What may seem like nothing to us may be a completely new thing to her. Like a ceiling. Look at the texture on the ceiling. Look at the texture on it. There's a texture to it. These are all things that babies can get captivated by.
Baby. You baby. Little child. She's like, oh shit, I'm a baby.
Reality is a matter of perspective.
I'm getting hungry.
The fact of the matter remains, Apple sucks ass.
Wow. Clap.
And they are so good at it that they make trillions of dollars doing it.
Me with my Apple phone. And my Apple headphones. My Apple Watch.
Me with my entire Apple ecosystem home.
What are you gonna do with baby Chell while I get my tattoo?
To be totally, completely honest with you, it did not occur to me whatsoever anything about Chell, about that entire trip, until you said that just now.
You haven't been thinking about it?
I honestly did not, because we've gone over there a few times now. We've just never done it with Chell yet.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm just kind of going back to, like, I'm just kind of going back to the times that we have gone there. And I've just been mentally picturing myself sitting there watching Big Mouth on the...
No,
on the,
not again.
God. So...
Not again.
That's pretty much what I thought was what was going to happen. But I guess now the only difference is Chell sitting on my lap watching it with me.
Yeah, I'm sure that they won't care that she's there.
Mm-mm.
Because, like, not to be like, oh, but we're not, like, normal customers, I guess.
If they do care, I don't mind going around with her. Hell, Mom would probably love it, too.
Yeah. Is she going to be in town?
Mom?
Because this was supposed to be her appointment. I'm taking it.
Why did she cancel it?
I don't remember. She didn't cancel
Yeah, I
it. She
can't-
just gave it to me. I gotta find out what time it is. But I don't have to work the day after anymore, so we don't have to worry about leaving at like fucking 4 or 6 a.m.
I still don't want to stay there for more than like a day.
No, I want to leave that morning that we're supposed to be there, stay the night, and then leave the next morning.
Yeah.
But I want to leave late enough I can get free hotel breakfast. You know?
Oh, bro. I'm not paying for a hotel and not getting my food out of it.
And if we're paying for a hotel, I want a goddamn good one for a night.
I still...
It doesn't have to be Davenport.
No, I actually want to try, like, sneaking into that hotel across, like, next to our house sometime and seeing if we can just get more free food. Because, like, after seeing how easy that was going in with your parents, the only thing that would really stop anybody would be if somebody continued to do it over and over again and they eventually caught on and, like, noticed them. And then, like, looked into it. But, like, one-offs, they're never going to know. It's wild.
Apparently the bacon they have in the morning is really good, but they didn't have any bacon.
There are so many wild, like, freaking life hacks that you just...
Well, the thing is, too, is most people, and they bank on this, aren't going to exploit that. And also, they charge $400.
To the internet.
Hold on.
Info. Check the home app.
There we go. Another one saved.
Another one. But they charge $400 a night for a room there. They better give free fucking good breakfast.
They have $400 a night for the cheapest room?
Yep.
Seriously?
Well, for that room Mom and Dad had.
Yeah, that's my face too, Chell. What the
Yeah, for that room mom and dad have.
No, I wouldn't. You wouldn't catch me paying $400 a night for that room. Anywhere.
They're all expensive. Every room was hella expensive.
I bet they came right after Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
And there were probably still people like hanging out
And
here.
the Blue Jays, and the Bite of Seattle, and everything was going on that weekend. They picked one of the worst weekends to come up. At least they drove instead of flying. Did you
I
just
mean,
fart?
they probably would have rented a car and it wouldn't have been much any different anyways.
You just farted.
That's okay. It was only on you.
I know, I felt it. We're gonna drink it. Yeah, now you're sitting.
No power. 4 watts from the wall. Definitely not a blown fuse. We probably got another shorted diode. And an easy one to wrap up our repair stream here.
Don't say that.
Shh, you shut. Listen, okay? I intentionally picked the most difficult ones to start with, so that way I could end the stream on like an easy, happy, haha, oh, it was just another stupid diode.
What are you doing, baby Jake?
Not this, oh, I don't know what's wrong with the amplifier, so I'm just gonna replace the whole thing after spending 20 minutes on it.
It'd be that way.
No, it don't be that way.
Huh.
I do not let it be that way. I actively strive to not let it be that way. Shh. Don't gaslight her. This ain't cool.
I feel like you're trying to fart again. You better not take a poop. The fart she was dropping in Joanne's was hilarious. How does a baby make such loud adult human sounds?
No, okay. How does the baby make so many baby sounds and then the farts and the burps are literally
Massive.
full-size human sounds, but just take the tone and level it up a few octaves?
You know? I don't know.
Because she's literally a tiny human.
She just got little
She's everything that we are, just small. Smaller.
You got little bits.
You got little bits.
Even your little bones are tiny. You got more bones than we do.
You got, not only do you have more bones than we do, but you're gonna start walking around before you even have fucking
You
kneecaps.
don't have
And the fact that you even have more bones than we do and you don't have kneecaps. What the hell?
That's where your legs just go.
How is it that you have more bones than we do, you don't have kneecaps, you're gonna learn how to walk before you get them, and then you will lose bones while gaining kneecaps? What the fuck?
She's just wiggling around when you say it. She's like, watch me wiggle my knees.
My lack of knees.
No, she got the knees, just not the caps.
No cap.
No cap.
Is that where the term came from?
No.
Oh. Damn.
That'd be wild.
That would be wild.
Crazy. I don't think babies not having kneecaps is like a regular
A regular fact? What do you mean? What is a regular fact?
People know.
Are you talking about common sense? Because that's what that's called, common sense.
Well, that's a regular
And
fact.
no, I don't think it's common sense that people are aware of the lack of kneecaps in babies.
I told mom baby Chill didn't have kneecaps, and she was like, is she okay? I was like, yeah, it's not made yet. She hasn't made them yet. You still gotta make them. Isn't that weird, baby Chill?
Yeah, but okay, no, that's not a good enough reason because she already made the rest of her body. Why did the kneecaps come so late?
Let me Google it.
She has to make them.
She did.
Maybe,
Okay, so they have kneecaps made of cartilage. They're not like legit kneecaps though. That hardens into bony kneecaps over time.
so, I mean, technically speaking, then they have kneecaps, but it's more like knee cartilage, and then it eventually turns into knee bone.
Yeah, they literally call it a cartilage.
But they've
patella.
got that'd be like saying babies don't have ears because they're made of cartilage until they turn into bone. Or
Babies.
nose. Because I'm sure their nose is the same way too. It's probably started out as a cartilage and then it hardens out. Some of it's probably still cartilage. Your nose.
90% of your nose is cartilage.
Yeah. But some of it's still bone. And I'm sure your kneecap's still made of some
your nasal
cartilage.
bone isn't like exactly your nose. It's the opening to your face that makes your nose. Does that make sense? Have you seen a skull?
Yeah. Have I seen a skull? I've got one, you know.
Well, I mean, like, one without anything on it.
No, I'm not a murderer, you
Yeah,
know.
I mean, you
I'm not a weird, sick, twisted murderer that
Nick, we've
skins their
literally
victims
been
all
to
the time.
Death museum. Shut the fuck up.
Ah, why was this one so hard? Ah,
Are you okay?
yeah. Just separating the skin from my nails.
Yeah, like, people got... Here is a Roman gladiator human skull. Yeah, see, like, you don't really have a bone that comes down.
That does not look like any other nose that I've seen on a skull.
Okay, how about
Most
this?
nose...
That's a human nose.
Is that really how it looks?
Yes, that's why I asked. Have you ever seen a skull?
I feel like all the skulls I've seen have had, like...
Oh god, I'm on the weird fucking skull biting part of the internet.
But I guess that's
Child
just...
skull, 12 years old.
That's just gotta be one of those Berenstein moments.
Do you want to see a 12-year-old child's skull?
Yeah. They got big... So this is all cartilage. This whole... Which makes sense, it's bendy.
The whole thing is cartilage up until, like, you get basically, like, an inch from down your eyeballs. Or not down from your eyeballs, but, like, you know what I mean? But it's really weird.
Know what I mean? Know what I'm saying?
I want to know why I can buy bones on the internet.
Why not?
I don't know. Here's a 1.5-year-old human child skull. Look at their big old head.
That's like your skull, Chell. Every time I look at you, you give me a big old smile. I love it.
Thank you. You're so sweet. There's no way this is a real skull. Boneclones.com.
Bone clones. They grow clones just to kill them and sell their bones.
Oh god. Draw available in
Mandela effect. Yes, you are correct. That is the term I was looking for.
Alright, I'll take you out of this. Here's one we held up. You getting hungry? I think it's time to get this baby some food. She's chewing. Alright, say goodbye. Say bye-bye. Let's go. Let's get some food. Oh yeah, she's hungry. She's on potatoes out.
Where'd it go? There it is. Here we go. Place your bets. What date code have we got on this diode? 4.6 or 4.8? 4.6. We got a 6 on our hands. Good grief. I would not like to see one of these dead diodes that does not have these same date codes on it. Because that would mean that, oh boy, everybody's HomePod could suddenly stop powering on, but it still seems to be these date codes in particular that are failing. So, who's going to be held accountable for it? Apple? Diodes Incorporated? The customer? I think we all know the answer. I won't admit to being some sort of genius. I'll just admit to knowing enough to be dangerous. Melt. Melt. Yes! I was not feeling optimistic right before the stream when I was getting set up, and I noticed that 2 of our 4 repairs today had no base issues. But we did manage to fix the first one without having to replace the amp, so I can't complain too much. Actually, I can. Give us schematics, Apple. Give it up. What have you got to lose at this point? Literally, what do you actually have to lose? If anything, you have customers to gain by opening this stuff up. Because people will believe in you more. People that purely refuse to buy your stuff on the sole principle of your operations being designing your shit to not be repairable, to break prematurely, and to make it look like it was an out of warranty issue. Can you tell I've got a couple beers in me? My rants just aren't going to be as educated as Louis Rossman's, but I can still rant. I swear to God, if this thing needs new filters too, I'm emailing Apple tonight. I'm letting them know. I'm telling them, hey, by the way, you better figure this shit out and start helping people out. Or I'm gonna sue your fucking ass. Not me personally. This is not an official threat. But I'm sure I could rile enough people up together to come up with some sort of class action over this. Because this is... I like making the extra money, but it wasn't the goal from the start. The goal was to figure these issues out so that way people that were stuck with no other option could at least fix it themselves. And we've come to find there are multiple fundamental flaws with this thing. And to no one's surprise, Apple is lying to their customers about them. I'm gonna sue. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sue. Yeah, I might even sue you. I'll sue ya. I'll take all your money. I'll sue ya if you even look at me funny. I'll sue ya. I'll take all your money. I'll sue ya if you even look at me funny. Oh! If you're 30 seconds late. Oh! I'll sue. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sue. Yeah, I might even sue you. Yeah, it's dinner time. I'm feeling the hunger. If you've got a Twitter account, Snazzy Labs recently tweeted about his HomePod popping, and I replied to him saying, hey, hit me up. I'll fix it for you, and I would really love to talk to you about these HomePods, because there's a lot of issues that these things have, and unfortunately, because it just simply wasn't as big of a popular product as like MacBooks and iPhones were, there haven't been enough people to voice their problems with these. But the fact of the matter remains that there are just multiple fundamental failures with this thing, and Apple's sticking the customer with the bill ultimately. So if you got a Twitter account, maybe find that tweet that he posted and be like, hey, I know a guy. You should hit him up and talk to him about these HomePods. He's got a lot to say about them, and he'll be happy to fix it for you. Because I will be more than happy to fix that for you. I've been watching Snazzy Labs for a very long time. I've been subscribed to him on my, like, this NixFix YouTube channel in particular. I created this just a few years ago, but my main channel that I've been using to browse and watch all of my YouTube content and subscribe to all my content creators, that's on a different YouTube account. So it's kind of weird reaching out to people being like, hey, I've been like long-time fan, and then if they go and check, it's like they've only been subscribed for like a few years, and it's like, okay, dude. No, I promise. I've been around since the beginning, I promise. I'm just subscribing from the wrong channels. Or I'm just commenting from the wrong channels. If you're curious, though, you should be able to go to my YouTube channel's About section. And then I can't remember if I named it Admin's Cars or just Administrator, but I've got some older car content on there if you want to check it out. Maybe I'll, if there's interest, I'll put up videos on my progress on my 300ZX. I've got, like, basically, I've literally got a whole nother engine and an entire package of mods to put onto that thing. But I'm not going to bother putting a camera on myself and editing all of that if nobody wants to watch it. So, can we go home? Yes, we can.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet.
Alright. Sounds good, looks good. That's it, folks. We've got them all fixed up. If you happen to be looking for more info on doing these repairs yourself, or reaching out to me to get them done for you, head over to the website nixfix.com. We've got a section for the common issues and how you can repair them. At the very bottom, I've got the tools that we use, and I got a link at the top also to my shop. We're selling refurbished HomePods and a handful of parts. If you need any of them, go ahead and check that out. In any case, I hope you all enjoyed this live stream repair, and I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye!